It's maternity day on the all-new Newlywed Game. And now, let's meet our newlywed couples for today. Couple number one. They were married in a restaurant she used to work at, and in the middle of the ceremony, 3 people came in to order dinner, but they also stayed for the wedding. Patty and Randy Fletcher. Couple number 2. During his rip-roaring bachelor party, she came in to rescue him, but he left her there, and he still hasn't heard the end of it. Janet and Mark Reinbold. Couple number 3. From the time they met until they were married, they lived 300 miles apart. So when they saw each other, it was always a holiday. But now she says it's more like a job. Gigi and Michael Allen. And couple number 4, their best man got sick at the reception. So when it came time to leave, he picked up his bride with great exuberance, ran outside with her, only to find there was no getaway car. Lisa and Matt Pozingo. Those are our newlyweds for today. And here's your host, the star of the all-new Newlywed Game, Bob Eubanks. Welcome to Maternity Day on the all-new Newlywed Game. It was Martin Mull who once said that having children is like having a bowling alley installed in your brain. I like that. We'll see how our questions strike our couples when we get the ball rolling right after these messages. Don't go away now. Welcome back to the all-new Newlywed Game. The wives have been secluded safely off stage. It's time for some 5-point questions. And as you know, gentlemen, you'll be answering these questions as you predict your wife will answer the same question when she returns. If her answer matches your prediction, you'll chalk up 5 points toward a grand prize that's been selected especially for you. So if you're ready, here we go with our first question. Gentlemen, for 5 points. Which of the following will your wife say she's guiltier of when you get really romantic? Which is she guiltier of? Squeezing, screaming, scratching, or sleeping? When you get really romantic, Matt. Squeezing, screaming, scratching, or sleeping?
Well, definitely sleeping.
Sleeping?
Last couple months, yeah.
Okay. Michael?
Squeezing, Bob.
Squeezing?
Yeah.
Okay. Mark?
Definitely sleeping. As a matter of
Sleeping.
fact, I don't know how she got pregnant. Definitely sleeping.
Fine. Randy?
Scratching. She likes to scratch and pull hairs on my back and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Next question, gentlemen. What will your wife say is the name of the street her obstetrician's office is on? Name of the street, Michael?
Atlantic, Bob.
Atlantic. Mark?
Sepulveda.
Sepulveda. Randy?
Hospital Way, I think.
Hospital Way. And Matt?
Tustin Avenue.
Tustin Avenue. Last of our 5-point questions. Gentlemen, how will your wife say you would complete this sentence? This is you talking. I'd be willing to give up blank if my wife was willing to take up what? You'd be willing to give up blank, Mark.
My cars.
Your cars, if your wife would take up
Skin diving.
skin diving. Okay, Randy?
I'd have to say I'd
give
give
up
up sleeping.
If your wife would
and
take up
cleaning and cooking.
cleaning, which one? Cleaning or cooking?
Cooking.
Cooking, all right. Matt?
I'd be willing to give up my tools if she was willing to take up, stop nagging so much.
Take up
Being more friendlier.
being friendly. All right. Michael, you'd give up.
I'd be willing to give up my procrastination if she would give up her silence.
She's quiet all the time?
No, she's, like you said, nagging.
But make sure you want her to take up silence. Is that
Right, take
okay,
up
fine.
silence.
Thank you, gentlemen. We'll be right back to reunite our newlyweds. We'll see how well our husbands have predicted what their wives will say right after these messages. Welcome back to the all-new Newlywed Game. Ladies have returned. Gentlemen, we recorded your predictions on cards and now have them in front of you. Each time that your prediction matches your wife's answer, you get 5 points. And the one couple with the most points at the end of the show wins a nice grand prize selected especially for them. And the ladies are all expecting congratulations to you. Here's your first question for 5 points. Girls, which of the following are you guiltier of when your husband gets really romantic? Are you guilty of sleeping, scratching, screaming, or squeezing? What are you guilty of, Patty?
Oh my God. Probably sleeping.
Sleeping. Randy says you're guilty of scratching.
You dream. He wishes I scratched.
Yeah, I
I
know.
know.
He says you do all the time.
Well, you got an itch. You got an itch.
That's not what he's talking about.
Well, we won't mention it.
Okay, Janet.
Screaming.
Screaming.
Yes.
He said you are definitely a sleeper.
You're always asleep,
But I'm
honey.
always yelling at you.
Well, that's after I wake you up, though. It's like,
Gigi, this is where you get really romantic. What are you guilty of?
Okay, I was a cheerleader, so I say screaming. I
Screaming.
make noise.
Okay. Michael said you're guilty of squeezing.
Oh, please, I'm so sure. I do not. I'm not.
You do too.
I'm
You're not a
that-
squeezer?
No.
No, you're a screamer. Huh. Lisa.
I think it would have to be sleeping.
Sleeping. He predicted you would say it would have to be sleeping. Yeah.
Good girl.
Next question, ladies. Tell me, what's the name of the street your obstetrician's office is on? Name of the street that your obstetrician's office is on, Janet?
Torrance Boulevard.
Torrance Boulevard. Mark says your obstetrician's office is on Sepulveda Boulevard.
honey, I'm sorry. That's her dentist. She's got
You know what
braces.
is?
Wrong. Yeah.
That's
wrong.
what I thought she would say.
Gigi.
If you don't get Atlantic.
Atlantic. Oh, he'll get this right. Michael said it's Atlantic. Lisa.
North Rose Drive.
Okay. Matt says it's definitely on. It's on Tustin Avenue.
Honey, it turns into
You
North
turn
Rose
off-
Drive.
You go off the tusk.
But sweetheart, when you drive up the road, it turns into North Rose.
Or you get off. I don't know. I just drive either one direction.
Patty?
Kent Pendleton Avenue. I don't know.
Okay. Randy said the name of the street is Hospital Way.
No, it is not.
I didn't know either.
He just made that up.
It's on the base. You just follow the signs. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter what road it is.
Okay, here's the last of our 5-point questions. Ladies, how did your husband complete this sentence? This is him talking. He said, I'd be willing to give up blank if my wife was willing to take up what? He'd give up what, Gigi?
I would say he would give up his messiness if I
If
was
you would take up,
being less of a nag.
all right. Michael said, I'd be willing to give up. Card, please, Michael. He's going to give up his procrastination if you'll take up silence. He wants you to be quiet.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Lisa.
Oh, my
He's going to give up what?
Cleaning.
Cleaning if you'll take up
Oh, jeez. It could be the same thing. Cleaning.
cleaning, okay? Matt says that he'll give up his tools if you'll just take up being a little friendlier.
Yeah.
Aw.
What are you always complaining about me messing around the house with? What?
Toes.
Okay. And what am I always complaining about you?
I'm sorry.
She's not friendly?
She's friendly. She's just real naggy. I don't know.
Oh. She called you sweetheart and honey a while ago. She can't be nagging too much.
Well, she's okay, but she's she's
Oh, she's
more
okay, is
friendly
that
than
it?
before.
It's just because of the baby.
Oh, of course it is, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll
Patty.
see.
Football for him.
Oh, he's going to give up football if you'll take up
Cooking.
cooking, all right?
Yes.
He said, I'd be willing to give up sleeping if you'd take up cooking.
Well, close. I'm a terrible cook. My dog wouldn't eat the pancakes. They were so bad.
Okay.
They were terrible.
Janet, he said, I'd be willing to give up
His cars.
his cars if you would take up.
Doing something productive, or is that?
That's not going to be more specific than that. He's going to give up his cars if you'll take up. Very please.
Doing more things for him.
Okay, Mark says he would give up his cars if you just take up skin diving.
Well, honey, we need a new hobby. I mean, that's for both of us.
Skin dive.
We'll be back in just a while to see how well they think. What the husbands will say right after these messages. All right, we have returned. All of our ladies are going to be mamas pretty soon. I hope not during the next half hour. Ladies, now your husbands have been secluded off stage. It's your turn to predict what they will say. And remember, these questions are the big ones. These are the 10-point questions. Here's the first one. On your very first date together, remember that, your first date together, will your husband say that you think he acted more like a good boy, a bad boy, a big boy, or a little boy? Gigi, on the first date, how do you act?
He was very good.
He was a good boy.
Yeah. He was
How
good.
nice. How boring, huh? Janet,
A bad boy.
he was a
like-
bad boy.
Yeah, he attacked me before.
No kidding.
Their first date, not even 2 hours.
Is that right? Goodness, Patty.
He was a good boy. Yeah, we were only in 8th grade. You have to be good.
He was a
boys
good
then.
boy.
Yeah.
Fine. Lisa, was he a good boy, bad boy, big boy, or little boy?
Oh, he was a good boy.
He was a good boy.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Next question, ladies. How will your husband say you would complete this sentence? This is you talking. If our kid has a mouth anything like my husband's, the first thing he'll say will be blank. Your answers must match exactly. Janet, if that baby has a mouth anything like Mark's, the first thing the baby will say will be? Pretty please.
Could you repeat it?
If the baby has a mouth like your husband's, the first thing he'll say will be what?
You're too inconsiderate.
You're too inconsiderate. All right, Patty, what's the first thing that baby's gonna say?
Feed me.
Feed me. Yes.
Yes.
Lisa.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry. Gigi.
Food.
Food. Okay. Last of our 10-point questions. Ladies, how will your husband say you would complete this sentence? This is you talking. When it comes to Whoopi, a lot of women might think my husband was a weirdo if they ever got to see the way he does what before he gets rolling. Got that one? Patty, a lot of women would think that your husband's a weirdo if they ever got to see the way he does what before he gets rolling.
Well, sometimes he kind of does this little dance and shakes all around.
He does his little dance before he gets rolling, huh?
Yep.
Okay, Lisa?
Brushes his teeth.
Oh, a lot of women would think he was weird if he brushed his teeth before he got rolling, huh?
No, when he brushes his teeth, he, instead of using the little glass that you rinse your mouth out with, he puts his head down and sucks it out of the faucet.
Lisa, we all do that.
No, people use little cups, don't
What
you?
little cups?
You're kidding.
I've never used a little cup in my
Everybody
life.
used a little cup. I don't know. Yeah, he puts his mouth
That's
down.
weird, man. I'm telling you, that's weird. Gigi.
I'll say the way that he undresses, because when he's under the he doesn't undress when he's outside. It's like he has to put up the covers and then do it like sneaky, you know, like as if.
Is he embarrassed?
I don't know, as if I don't know what's coming up next, you know. I don't know, but the way he undresses.
I know the feeling. Janet.
I'd say the way he acts like a little kitty, he's always all, oh, like this.
He goes, oh.
Yeah, he's all, oh.
Yeah, okay, 25-point bonus question. Ladies, will your husband say that you own more jewelry that you wear on your ears, fingers, wrist, or neck? Lisa?
Probably ears.
Ears. Gigi?
Ears.
Ears. Janet? Ears,
Neck.
fingers, wrist, or neck?
Neck.
Neck. Okay, Patty?
Ears.
Ears. Ladies, thank you very much. We'll be back with our husbands to compare answers on the all-new Newlywed Game right after these messages. Returned. Now, gentlemen, let's see how well your wives have predicted what you will say. Remember, these are the big questions now. These are worth 10 points. And here's your first one. Tell me, guys, on your very first date together, does your wife think you acted more like a little boy, a big boy, a bad boy, or a good boy? On your first date, how'd you act, Mark?
Definitely a bad boy.
You're a bad boy. She
Real
said on the
personal.
first date you were a bad boy.
Good one.
Didn't seem to hurt your cause. You got married, didn't you?
Right, you know, we were honest about it.
Well,
you know?
good. Fine. Michael, were you a little boy, a big boy, a bad boy, or a good boy?
I would have to say I was a good boy.
A good boy. She said on the first date you were a good boy. Matt.
I'd say I was a good boy.
A good boy. Your wife predicted on the first date you were a good boy.
All right.
What do you think, Randy?
I'd say bad boy.
You were a bad boy.
Yeah.
Oh, good for you. She said you were a good boy.
I think he was with somebody else.
Yeah.
It wasn't me. In the Jeep when we went to the movies.
Yeah.
We weren't bad. All we did was kiss. That's not wrong.
You're the one who honked the horn.
With my elbow. I accidentally hit it.
Did what?
The horn
The
with
horn.
my elbow.
Oh.
And it honked.
Oh, it
And
did.
everybody looked at us, but I hid so they could only see him.
Good for you. Next question. Gentlemen, how did your wife complete this sentence? This is her talking. If our kid has a mouth anything like my husband's, the first thing he will say will be blank. And your answers must match exactly. Please keep that in mind. First thing that baby's going to say is going to be blank, Michael.
Bob, since I love the game of football so much, I would have to say football.
Football.
Every day, every minute, every night. What?
Food.
What?
Food.
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 Oh, well, I like to eat too.
Then football. Matt, what's that baby going to say?
Oh, if he's anything like me, he's gonna say I'm hungry.
I'm hungry. She said, I'm hungry. Remember, the answers must match exactly. Randy?
I'll have to say, what's to eat?
What's to eat? She says the first thing the baby's going to say is feed me. Feed me.
Close.
Close. No cigar. Mark?
Well, my wife's been giving me nudges about my stomach lately, so I'm gonna have to go with I'm hungry.
I'm hungry. She said the first thing that baby will say is, "You're too inconsiderate."
Oh, honey, I never.
You always tell
When
me.
she doesn't
You always
feed me,
tell me.
that's what I say.
Okay, here's the last of our 10-point questions. Gentlemen, how did your wife complete this sentence? This is her talking. She said, when it comes to Whoopi, a lot of women might think my husband was a weirdo if they ever got to see the way he does what before he gets rolling. When it comes to Whoopi, a lot of women would think you're really weird, Matt, if they would ever see the way you do what before you get rolling.
Oh, I don't know, maybe the way I kiss.
Well, you kiss. All right? She said a lot of women would think you're a weirdo if they see the way you brush your teeth.
The way I brush my teeth?
Yeah. She says you don't use a little cup to rinse your mouth.
No, you just stick your face underneath the.
That's what everybody else does.
That's your bathroom, right? You know where everything's
That's
been.
right. You don't need to
There's
use a
no
little cup, do
diseases
you?
or nothing.
I take my
It's
teeth
clean.
out, set them up there on the counter. Yeah. All right. Well, Randy, a lot of women might think you were a little weird if they could see the way you do what?
The way I lick her ears and face.
Yeah, they might think you're weird, all right.
That's true.
Patty says you do this funny little dance.
Nah.
Well, I was on the phone.
That's when I get out of the shower.
No, that's when you get naked, period. He comes in.
Every time he gets naked, he does this little dance?
Most of the time when he's trying to be funny.
And it's a little dance, huh?
Well,
Mark!
I'm gonna have to say the way I get on the bed, because like I have this little ritual where I run and jump and leap and land next to her. So
bet
I'm
that's
gonna
fun
have
to
to say that. I
Like a
almost broke the
747. Huh? Janet says it's the way you act like a little bitty boy.
Oh,
Dude,
I'm sorry.
you're always, oh.
Boy, that's romantic, isn't it? Yeah.
She likes it.
Huh. Michael,
Bob, That's me.
I would have to say, oh, I know that, but
I would have to say the way I kiss.
Where you get? You know what she told us?
what did she tell me?
This is really weird, man. We're talking
What'd she
strange.
say?
You undress after you get in bed, and she doesn't know what's coming up next.
Cover, and it's like all the lights have to be off, everything, you can't see anything, and then it's like I'm waiting.
It's not like that. That's
What have you got you're ashamed of, Michael?
nothing.
We'll be back with our 25-point bonus question. See which couple's going to win their grand prize. All right, gentlemen, here it is, a big 25-point bonus question. For 25 points, gentlemen, does your wife own more jewelry that she wears on her neck, wrist, fingers, or ears? Let's go first to couple number one. Randy and Patty with 0 and 25 to give you 25. Randy, what would it be?
Definitely ears.
In her ears. He said ears. That's right. You're in first place. Couple number two, Mark and Janet with 10 and 25. We'll give you 35. Mark, what would it be?
Undoubtedly her ears.
Her ears. She said undoubtedly her neck. Couple number three, Michael and Gigi with 15, 25 to give you 40. Michael.
Definitely her ears.
Ears. She said yes, it's her ears. All right, couple number four, Matt and Lisa with 25, 25 to give you 50. Does she own more jewelry that she wears on her neck, wrist, fingers, or ears?
Fingers.
Fingers! She said ears! That means a couple number three, Michael and Gigi! You're our Newlywed Game grand prize winners! And now, Michael and Gigi, as today's winners of the Newlywed Game, is the special prize chosen just for you. It's a sparkling new nursery! That's right, Gigi and Michael. Keep your baby smiling in his own bedroom. Child grabs toy chest, doll baby crib, and patented dressing chest. Fills the nursery with a snappy and contemporary European look. Notice the sleek lines and the shiny white surfaces accented with brass-colored trim. And for growing minds, the new Encyclopedia Britannica, the 32-volume edition for the whole family to use for home study, looking up facts and probing subjects in depth in black binding. And help out when the new baby arrives, Frigidaire's finest laundry pair. An 18-pound capacity washer with halo spray fill system, an extra wide door opening, and 4 temperature settings for the dryer furnished by Frigidaire. It's all yours, courtesy of the new Newlywed Game. Michael and Gigi, congratulations to you. Best of luck to all of our couples in their new additions. How about you next? I'll see you next time on the new Newlywed Game. Bye-bye, everybody.
Does it take to be a Hollywood player?
Steven Booby, it's 15 mil or no deal. Austin Powers' nemesis, Dr. Evil, baby. Central Park, that's where the friends hang out. Kid, you call that a smoothie? My dog eats better than that. McGillicuddy was Lucy's maiden name. So boy bands are the future of music? Psychics. Hey, I gotta call you back. It's time.
What's it take to be a Hollywood player? Simple. Just play the game. Hollywood Showdown, next on Game Show Network.
Hey, watch the cuticles. Kid, you got an agent?
The new Newlywed Game is a Chuck Barris production.
More urban or rural?
I don't know what they mean. Heck, he's urban.
He's urban.
Yeah.
How long has he been that way?
About 2 months.
2 months he's been there. Do you think there's anything he can do about it?
He went to a doctor.
Oh, he did?
Welcome back to DBL. That was our special guest, Bob Eubanks, host of one of the top game shows of all time, the Newlywed Game. Bob, there he is!
Yes!
Welcome to DBL. Of course, Bob, you hosted the show off and on for 5 decades, and it really became such a huge hit because, as we just saw, people were hysterical, and they would tell you anything. How did you get people to open up like that?
Hey, before we get started, I want to mention something. When he talked about the Dukes of Hazzard earlier, guess who did all of the jumping of that car on Dukes of Hazzard? My son, Corey.
What?
Really? He's a stunt driver?
My son, Corey, did work Dukes of Hazzard for a long time, and he did the jumps. And he never got hurt bad because he knew how to say no.
That's job number 1 of a stunt driver.
Right.
That's
There
awesome.
we go.
Boundaries.
Yeah. Okay, let's go back now. Newlywed Game.
So how were the people there? Did you talk to them beforehand? Like, why did they feel like that they could tell you anything? What was it? What was your secret?
Well, I found out that if you laugh at people, they give you nothing. But if you laugh with people, they will just keep talking and talking and talking. And I just learned I could get an answer from one couple, and I would watch the other couple, and I could tell by their responses and their body language and such that I was going to get something pretty funny from them. So I just learned how to make people talk. But no, I didn't meet them before the show. I didn't want them to feel that comfortable.
Bob, I got to tell you, it's an honor talking to you, man. You are a true legend, so thanks for joining us here on DBL. But
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Right? Oh, well, it's great for me. Bob, I got to ask you, with everything being so sensitive these days and everybody with the cancel culture, do you feel like a show like this could work today, or would you have to tweak a lot of things involved?
Well, you know, things have progressed, I guess, maybe not progressed, but have moved forward. When I started, they wanted me to say make love, and I wouldn't say it because I didn't think you should have to explain that to your children until you were ready to do so. So Sinatra had a hit record called Making Whoopee, and I came to them, I said, hey, let's just call it Whoopee, and it could be anything at that point. So that's how Whoopee became a 4-letter word, really.
And well, I'll tell you this, as a parent, we appreciate you saving us in an awkward conversation, so thank you for that. Now, obviously, this show was created back in the 60s when it was a very, very different time. But you actually, you actually showed this. You sold the show, which is almost impossible. It's unheard of. Without a pilot, how did you do that? How did you walk in and just say, "This is the show. You need to imagine
All
it"?
right. You may not like this, but here we go. The boys from New York flew out to see what this format looked like. Chuck Barris invented the Newlywed Game. And we had to sit in an auditorium, and I had 4 couples there. And couple number 1 was an unknown comedian named Dom DeLuise and his wife, Carol. But what sold the show, down at the end, was a cute little blonde. Now remember, this is 1964. Television was real quiet. And I said, what's your favorite nickname for your husband? And she said, Nun Nuts. And the ABC boys got up, went upstairs and bought the show without a pilot.
You know magic when you see it. That's awesome.
Hey, Bob. Bob, I always always love getting like little behind the scenes tidbits. Is there a story that was really funny that didn't make air, maybe too controversial? Maybe you couldn't go there, it kind of sticks out in your head?
Well, you know, there's that famous story about where's the strangest place you ever made whoopee? And the lady gave an answer, but I'm telling you, 10 times a week people will say, oh, I saw that. They didn't see it because it didn't get on the air, you see. She said this terrible thing. I said, no. And it was a lady from New Jersey, and I said, no, you can't say that. I need a location. She said, oh, okay.
Yes. We actually have that clip. We found it. Here it is.
Well, it never made the air, though.
Girls, tell me where specifically is the weirdest place that you personally, girls, have ever gotten the urge to make whoopee? No, what I'm talking about is the weirdest location, the weirdest place.
Bob, okay, so clearly you meant location as in geography, not a body part.
Yeah.
What went through your mind, and why did it become like this urban legend?
Well, everybody, you know, manufactured what she said, but we all know what she said. And I got calls from NASA. You know, they were having a meeting and they said, did that really happen? You gotta be kidding me. Go move, please. You know?
That's funny.
It was just crazy, you know? But I will tell you, if I learned how to make them talk, I learned that if you stare at them, if you don't put them down, you make them feel comfortable, they'll just rattle on and on and on. And one of the problems that I have with game show hosts of today is if they're actors or comedians, they have a real rough time letting the contestant be funny or the format being funny. I produced Buddy Hackett's You Bet Your Life television show one time. And if someone made a funny line on camera, he couldn't stand it. He would go after them and nail them. And that's not a criticism, by the way. It's just comedians and actors are stars, and they will not let anybody else become a star on the camera. Now, the guy that does Family Feud, he's different, though. Steve Harvey, he's wonderful, I think.
So funny.
Yeah.
Just his side eye alone has me in stitches.
Right, he's really good at that. And to your point, Bob, he's done shows like Kids Say the Darndest Things, where that's kind of a thing where the host is kind of the straight man and allows the kid to kind of shine. So I think that probably prepped him well, and that's why he's so good at Family Feud. But
he's really good.
Bob, I want to sneak in this question. They're going to kill me in the booth. One of my favorite stories is about Barry White, the singer, and he said when he was 14 years old, he woke up and he had this voice, and he said his mom screamed because they thought there was a grown man in the house, but that was just a voice. It was voice change. When did you know that you had that voice, that iconic voice? What age?
It is iconic.
Oh, you know what? I don't know, but I was a soprano. I sang tenor in the choir in high school, and I don't know when it all came about, but thank you, Lord.
Yeah, it worked out.
It certainly did. I mean,
hey, before we go, I will leave you with a story. An 80-year-old friend of mine, a girl walked up to him the other day and said, would you like soup or sex? He said, I'll take the soup.
That's hilarious.
Thank you, Bob. It's been a pleasure.
Truly are a legend. Thank you so much, Bob Eubanks. We appreciate you for joining us here in
And
TVL.
let me say something.
Yes.
If anybody else out there is having balance issues, I have the answer for them. Go to 60up.com, and it changed my life, and it'll change anybody's life. It's
Fantastic.
wonderful.
Thank you.